You know how we always say, follow your gut when something feels off about someone? Well, what happens when your gut is telling you one thing, but everything you see with your eyes is telling you the complete opposite? Zara Williams had that exact problem. Here's a woman who built a multi-million-dollar app from scratch. She knows how to read people, right? She meets this billionaire who's everything she's ever dreamed of. Perfect gentleman, loves her daughter, talks about building a future together. Every red flag checker you can think of, this man passed with flying colors. But here's where it gets crazy. One hidden camera, 47 seconds of footage, and suddenly this fairy tale romance becomes a nightmare that'll make your skin crawl. Now, I know what you're thinking. How did she miss the signs? Trust me, by the end of this story, you'll understand exactly how the smartest, most successful people can be completely fooled by someone they love. Because what Zara discovered about her perfect fiancé will change how you look at relationships forever. And the way she handled it, pure genius. Hit that like button if you've ever had your gut tell you something was wrong about someone. And let's get into this story that proves sometimes the people closest to us are hiding the darkest secrets. Meet Zara Williams, 34 years old, single mom, and the CEO of a fitness app that just hit 50 million downloads. She's living proof that Black excellence isn't just a hashtag, it's a lifestyle. After her divorce 3 years ago, Zara focused everything on building her empire and raising her 12-year-old daughter, Amara. Now, Zara wasn't looking for love. She was too busy running board meetings and helping Amara with homework. But sometimes, life has different plans. Enter David Crawford, 42, tech billionaire, owns 3 companies you've definitely heard of. When they met at a conference in Atlanta, David didn't just see a successful businesswoman, he saw her equal. Someone who understood the pressure, the late nights, the weight of building something from nothing. Their first date lasted 8 hours. Coffee turned into lunch, lunch turned into dinner, and dinner turned into walking around the city until midnight talking about dreams, failures, and everything in between. David didn't try to impress her with expensive restaurants or flashy cars. He impressed her with his mind. What really got Zara's attention, how David treated Amara. This man would drive 2 hours just to make it to her basketball games. He'd help with math homework over video calls when he was traveling. He even learned to braid hair. And we're talking about a billionaire watching YouTube tutorials at midnight. Within 6 months, David proposed with a ring that made headlines, not because of the price tag, but because he designed it himself, incorporating symbols that represented their blended family. The wedding was planned for Christmas, a winter wonderland celebration that would bring together 2 successful Black families. Zara thought she'd won the lottery. Successful career, beautiful daughter, and a man who loved them both unconditionally. She was living the dream that so many of us chase, but rarely catch. But you know what they say about things that seem too perfect, right? Drop a comment below. Have you ever found love with someone from a completely different world than yours? Because what happened next proves that love really can be blind. 2 months before the wedding, David surprised Zara with the ultimate engagement gift, a state-of-the-art security system for her house. We're talking military-grade cameras, motion sensors, the works. He said it was for their protection, especially with her growing business profile making her a target. "I want to keep my girls safe," he told her, installing cameras in every room except the bathrooms. The system was so advanced, it could detect voice patterns, facial recognition, even emotional stress levels. David explained every feature like he was genuinely excited about protecting them. Zara loved it. Finally, a man who thought about their safety without even asking. But Amara, she wasn't feeling it. "Mom, why does he need cameras watching everything we do?" Amara asked one evening while doing homework. "It's for security, baby. David just wants us protected." "But he watches the feeds from his phone. I've seen him." Zara brushed it off. David was just being thorough, right? Successful people think ahead. They plan for problems before they happen. That's how you stay successful. Then came the small moments that didn't quite add up. David would mention things Amara said when he wasn't around. He'd know about conversations they had in private. When Zara asked how he knew, he'd smile and say he just paid attention to details. Amara started spending more time in her room.
She stopped talking as freely around the house. When Zara asked what was wrong, Amara would just shrug and say everything was fine. But a mother knows when something's off with her child. The night before Zara's business trip to New York, Amara came into her room. "Mom, can I stay at Grandma's while you're gone?" "Why? David will be here to take care of you." Amara looked away. I'd rather be at Grandma's." That moment right there, that should have been Zara's wake-up call. Tell me in the comments, when your child doesn't want to be around someone you're dating, do you listen to that instinct? Because what Zara was about to discover proves that children see things adults miss.
Zara's business trip to New York was supposed to last 3 days, but when her biggest client meeting got canceled, she caught an early flight home. She wanted to surprise David and Amara with dinner from their favorite restaurant. The house was quiet when she walked in. David's car was in the driveway, but she didn't hear voices. Maybe they were upstairs, watching a movie. That's when she remembered the security app on her phone. David had given her access to check on things when she traveled. She pulled it up just to see where they were in the house. What she saw made her blood freeze. David was in the kitchen with Amara, but this wasn't the gentle, caring man she knew. This was someone else entirely. "Clean this mess up properly," he was saying to Amara, his voice cold and harsh. "Your people already have a reputation for being lazy. Don't prove them right." Zara's hands started shaking. Did he just say what she thought he said? She rewound the footage, watched again. Your people. Amara was just standing there, 12 years old, trying not to cry while this man, the man Zara was about to marry, continued his verbal assault. "When your mother's not around, you follow my rules, and my rules are simple. You stay out of my way, you don't touch my things, and you remember that you're lucky I'm even tolerating you in my house." The app showed 47 seconds of footage, but Zara could see this had been going on for a while. Amara's body language, the way she kept her head down, the fear in her eyes. This was learned behavior. Zara scrolled through previous recordings, day after day, of David treating her baby girl like she was nothing, calling her names that made Zara's stomach turn, making comments about her hair, her skin, her intelligence, things no child should ever hear from any adult, especially not from someone who claimed to love her. The man she was going to marry, the man she thought loved her daughter, had been psychologically tormenting Amara for months. Zara felt something break inside her chest. This wasn't just betrayal. This was something deeper, darker. This man had looked her in the face every day, kissed her goodnight, planned their wedding, all while destroying her child's spirit when she wasn't watching. She saved every recording, screenshots, video files, timestamps, everything. Her hands were steady now, but her heart was pounding with a rage she'd never felt before. "Tell me something. If someone you trusted was hurting your child behind your back, what would you do?" Because Zara was about to show David Crawford exactly what happens when you mess with a black mother's baby. Zara didn't rush upstairs screaming. She didn't confront David immediately. Instead, she did what successful business owners do. She planned her strategy. First, she called her lawyer, then her publicist, then her best friend who happened to be an investigative journalist. Within 2 hours, she had a team assembled and a plan in motion. Zara walked into that kitchen calm as ice water. "David, we need to talk." He smiled that charming smile that had fooled her for months. "Hey, baby, you're home early. How was the trip?" "Amara, go to your room, please." Once her daughter was gone, Zara pulled out her phone and hit play on the security footage. The color drained from David's face as he heard his own voice saying those horrible things to Amara. "Zara, I can explain." "What explain?" "Explain how you've been abusing my child for months? Explain how you called her your people like we're still living in 1950? David tried to spin it, said he was just teaching discipline, said Amara was being disrespectful, said Zara was overreacting. That's when Zara showed him the rest of her evidence. Weeks of recordings, a detailed timeline, screenshots that would hold up in any court. "Here's what's going to happen," Zara said, her voice steady as steel. "You're going to pack your things and leave my house. You're going to transfer the security system ownership to me, and you're going to disappear from our lives forever." David laughed. Actually laughed. "You think anyone's going to believe you over me? I'm David Crawford. I own half of Silicon Valley." "Really? Let's find out." Zara's journalist friend had already prepared the story. Within 6 hours, David's treatment of Amara was front-page news on 3 major websites. The recordings went viral. His own security cameras had captured everything in crystal-clear audio. The tech community that once celebrated him turned their backs overnight. Board members resigned. Investors pulled funding. Companies canceled partnerships worth hundreds of millions of dollars. David went from billionaire to pariah in less than 24 hours. But the real victory? Amara finally felt safe in her own home again. Have you ever had to choose between keeping peace and protecting what matters most to you? Drop a comment below, because this story proves that sometimes the biggest battles are the ones we fight for the people we love. 6 months later, Zara's app hit 100 million downloads. But the real victory wasn't business success. It was watching Amara laugh freely in their home again. Mother and daughter started therapy together. Amara learned that David's words were lies designed to hurt her, not truths about who she was. Zara learned that building wealth means nothing if you can't protect the people you love. "Mom, why didn't I tell you sooner?" Amara asked during one of their healing conversations. "Because he was an adult who made you feel like nobody would believe you. That's what people like David do. They use their power to silence the truth." The legal case against David became a landmark victory, not just for Zara and Amara, but for countless families who saw their story and found courage to speak up about their own situations. David lost everything: his companies, his reputation, his billions. But more importantly, he lost the power to hurt another child. Zara used her platform to start a foundation focused on protecting children from psychological abuse. She speaks at conferences now, teaching parents how to recognize warning signs they might miss. The lesson? Trust your children when they show you something's wrong. Listen to those gut feelings that tell you someone isn't who they claim to be. And remember that real love protects. It doesn't harm. Zara's story proves that sometimes the worst betrayals lead to the greatest breakthroughs. She thought she needed David to complete her family, but she already had everything she needed. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling us about a time you had to choose between keeping peace and protecting your family. Because every story shared helps someone else find their strength to fight back.